Was that the first video you created of the president?
Yes, that's the first video I created, because even before then I didn't have a TikTok account. So I just created a TikTok account on that day for the purposes of just that speech. So that speech in purpose was supposed to guide the president, because the president came to the nation visibly angry, calling us criminals. So I decided that Yes. So I decided that it's good. Maybe the president lacks good advice. Let me be ahead of the fray and provide good advice. At that point, I never thought it would go viral. But when it went viral, I was happy about it. And somehow I feel like it got to him, because some of the things I said in that video, he actually got to do them. One was to be empathetic to the families that had lost their loved ones, and to tell them that he cannot restore the lives of the people who have died, but there is something he can do about it. There is going to be justice, and there is going to be compensation of some kind, and that he will remember these people that have died as heroes of our country. Second was that I expected him to dismiss his whole cabinet, and since I'm a lawyer, I knew which sections of the law he can use. I didn't expect him to fire the Inspector General, and that's why in my speech I didn't outrightly fire the Inspector General. I actually accepted his resignation, because I know that the office of the Inspector General is an independent office, but I also know how the political space in Kenya operates. Mostly for most independent offices, when you are appointed to that office, you usually sign two letters: a letter of appointment and a resignation letter without a date, so that any time when the president feels like you're not doing what they want you to do, they just put a date, and then you watch on the media that you've resigned. You una realize kwa TV
So si ati resign?
Okay, according to me, venye mi najua vitu zina operate, mi najua most of our independent institutions and independent offices, they've been captured in such a way that for you to, once you've been appointed to an independent office, the intention was that these offices to be independent so they can do their functions independently. But mostly unapata wanasign barua mbili, appointment na resignation bila tarehe. So anytime when the political class feels like you're not serving their purpose anymore, they just make you resign, and that is it. So I don't think the Inspector General resigned voluntarily, but rather that he was pushed to resign, which is a bad thing, because he was getting his instructions from the president. So it's ni kama wakati mambo imekuwa moto, moshi imekuwa mingi kwa jikoni, the president decided to throw him under the bus. And that's why I've been even communicating to our police and telling them that, look, you guys from DCI and you guys from Anti-Terrorist Police Unit, it might feel like you are heroes for now, by abducting, torturing and killing Kenyans. But one day, these people will no longer be in power, or these people will need you to be accountable, or they will be scared that you are the witnesses who know the evil deeds that they've done. At some point, they'll either finish you too, or they'll throw you under the bus, mpeleko huko aipoa mkafungwe. It happens to police officers all the time. Police officers are used to kill people, then they are killed, or they are taken to court, and these people never stand with them. That's why I've been telling our police that just do your job. Don't overdo. Don't be overzealous trying to please the government. Remember, this is the same government that promised you a good salary and did not deliver. And we are crying because we've also been promised too much and nothing has been delivered. So tuko in one boat. Si ati nyinyi mnanunua vitu chipa kutuliko, si ati nyumba zenu ni chipa kutuliko. In fact, you are suffering more than even us. So be empathetic to us. Hata kama mmetuma mwende mfanye hivi na hivi, jifanye kwamba mulizidiwa nguvu, ama muende mkue busy. You know, you can be busy doing nothing. Mnakuwa busy hapo, mnarusha tear gas, mnarushiwa hivyo, lakini msi overdo, msikuwa overzealous. Yeah.
Quite trigger happy.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm curious, you know, that time when you did that video, you were very official with a podium nini. Where did you get the podium from? Ama ni biashara ama ni ya wapi?
I got the podium from a guy who does podium somewhere in Utawala.
So like you made the podium for that particular speech?
That particular speech is the reason I made that podium. So after I made that podium, it has become of great use. I keep using the podium, and I think the podium has more uses to come. So niko tu nayo. Mi ni content ikikuja tu kwa akili saa hii, naenda kwa podium hapo.
Mpaka yani to the extent of making the suits zikae kama za president wetu, you know, the famous Kaunda suits.
You know, the first Kaunda suit that I did, it was navy blue. That Kaunda suit, that one in particular, I had it, but you know it was long sleeved. So of late, I've cut it into short sleeve, because I've realized the president's Kaunda suits are short sleeved. So nimeikata. But nilikuwa na it was nilishonewa for a friend's wedding. But hii sasa hii nimegiftiwa na somebody saw my video akaipenda akaniambia I would like to see more of this wacha ninunulie wewe kaunda suit moja. So hii was a gift about 4 days ago.
So podium umesema ulitengenezesha, you know, sasa unajua tumeona president amekuwa akienda, you know, he's been in Mombasa. I don't know kama watu wanasema yes ni campaign ama ni nini ama ni kutuliza watu situation. So you've started mimicking that as well. So gari pia ni kununua, umenunua for this content ama vipi?
No. I've been having the vehicle. That particular vehicle I've had it for 1.5 years. But such vehicles I've had them for quite some time, since I was 24 years. So gari niko nazo because I do business, ninajigrow, so niko nayo. So sikuhitaji kuhaya gari. Gari nilitokelezea tu kwa sunroof. My wife was my camera woman. Tukapiga show hapo. Hatukujua venye ita perform. Lakini ika overdo. Hata sikujua ita overdo hivyo.
Which is nice because, you know, umesema ni kama hizi vitu zinamfikia. So speaking about that, before we even get to the political side of things, that speech that you did, who do you think failed the president at that point? Was it his communication team? Ama who do you think is failing him? And at that, has anyone reached out to you? You know, even with a job offer, we saw your speech, we saw what you're doing. Maybe you can join our communications team. You can be part of Team Mia State House.
Well, they've not reached out, but I know why. It could be one of two things. One, probably the people surrounding the president are afraid of brilliant people coming close to the president because they'll make them look like there's nothing they were doing. Or secondly, it could be that probably they look at how much progress I've made in life and they realize that a government salary may not be something I'm interested in. So then they wanashindwa wani-invite waniambie nini. Unaona? But to your question about who might have failed the president, well, I would blame the president and the people around him. You see, when you are around the president, you could be brilliant, you could be sharp, but you must remember that you are not the one who got the mandate from the people to be president. This person who is the president, he has a character of his own. And sometimes the advice you give him, it's not a guarantee that he's going to take it. So you might give very good advice, and you might start feeling disappointed and drained, especially when he doesn't take your advice because of the president himself and his character and how he sees things and how he wants to do his own things and his temperament. So I think the president failed himself. I would not say the people around him failed him because the people around him, some of them are people I know, very brilliant guys. But you see, what is the value of advice if the person you give the advice does not take the advice seriously? So you can be a good lawyer, you are giving advice to the president, but your advice is unwelcome. Nobody wants to hear your advice. If you remember, we had a very brilliant person called Githu Muigai. Githu Muigai was an attorney general during Kibaki's time. When Uhuru came to power, Githu Muigai resigned. And the reason he resigned is because you are here with all these brains, you're trying to advise, but nobody needs your advice. These people have already made up their mind what they want to do or what they want to say. So your advice is now inconsequential. So you start feeling useless in that government. And since you are a brilliant person, when unaweza toka hapa nje ujitegemee, unaamua wacha ikae. So me, I blame the president because for you to even take bad advice, then you have to be lost yourself.